Where's my Oscar for acting like everything is fine?
I was looking at the woman next to me, enjoying being feminine. And I looked at you and I said, I want to be free like her. That was the beginning of my healing journey. Change is scary because we know that requires us to get honest with ourselves and ask yourself hard questions. What is your truth?
Imagine hitting a crossroads where everything you've built seems to crumble, leading you to face your deepest fears, even your own death. I'm Jill Collins, and today we're stepping into the remarkable journey of Nataliya Priest. Once a technical entrepreneur on the brink of burnout, Nataliya's life took an unexpected turn. Today, she shares her profound insights on finding hope in despair and light in the darkest hours. Join us for an intimate exploration of rebirth, healing, and the incredible power of the human spirit. This is where your heart finds the courage to heal right here, right now. Welcome back, everyone. We're here once again at Jill Collins Connections, and I'm super excited to share with you one of my dear friends and a special guest today. We have Nataliya Price. Nataliya is a transformation coach. She's someone that I really admire because she's been through so much in her life, and yet she has come out of this situation, her life, with like rising up like a phoenix, and she's just so dynamic, and she's transformed her life in a matter of a couple of years in some ways. So I want to share with you how amazing she is and what are some of her secrets. So welcome. I'm so excited to have you, Nataliya.
Oh, thank you, Jill. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. One of your quotes, I was watching one of your YouTube interviews that the Women Speak from about 5 years ago, and you said, people don't change when they see the light. They change when they feel the heat. Don't settle for good, go for great. I love that you said that. That really inspired me. And so, I think that's something that many people, many women in midlife are saying, yeah, I don't want to settle for good. I want to settle for great. And how do I do that? And so, a lot of women are at this point they're in a crossroads and they're trying to figure out what is it that I do now? Things have changed in my life, and I really feel like it's too late for so many things. And so tell me about a transformation. Tell us about you and your transformation experience and how you got where you are today.
Based on my personal experience and also looking at the hundreds lifetime stories of my clients, I can tell you with certainty that people are more okay with shrinking back to their comfort zone than rising up, unless there is a crisis that forces them to. 10 years ago, I was unhappy in my marriage. I was walking around pretending that I'm fine. I was walking around like a fraud. That's how I felt. My life looked good from the outside, but inside I felt dead. I felt numb. And I was like,
Where is my Oscar for acting like everything is fine? And nobody knew what's going on except my best friend. And because I didn't tell anybody except her. I was literally like dumping on her my problems. Poor thing. And one day she was just tired of listening to my complaints. And she said, Nataliya, you either stay with him and stop complaining or do something about it. And that made me think, first of all, we do need somebody just to tell us sometimes feedback, because we have blind spots, and that's why it's great to have a coach or the best friend telling the truth. And then the same day I received bad news about my aunt's breast cancer. And it just felt so overwhelming. I didn't know what to feel. I was just, it was so emotional. And I remember her words, my friend's words, do something. And I signed up to Tony Robbins events in Los Angeles. It was 2015. And I remember going through the Dickens process when Tony Robbins takes you through the guided meditation. You're like in the dark rooms, and he takes you like visualize, imagine your life 1 year, 5 years, and 10 years from now. And I'm standing there in the dark room with thousands of people and imagining the pain if nothing changes now. And this is going to be my life.
And then he said, imagine your life 10 years from now and you don't do anything. Nothing changes. Imagine that pain and you have even more suffering in your life. And that was, to me, the wake-up call that I needed. I came back home from the event and I had a hard conversation and we filed for divorce. So yes, that was one decision that can change your life when you just want to have life on your terms, have extraordinary life, right? Not settling, not keep pretending, because it drains your energy. Just walking around and holding this facade that I'm fine and trying to controlling things, it drains energy. And then you cannot bring new beautiful things in your life because your cup is full of anger and resentment and self-pity and all these excuses why you don't want to change. So it was time for me just to clear all that. And I know so for some people, it's very difficult to make this change in your life because change is scary. I get it. I've been there. So we pretend, we hold back, we resist the change because we know at some level, we know that requires us to get honest with ourselves and ask yourself hard questions. What is your truth? What is your truth?
What is your truth?
And it's easy. Yeah. It's easier to settle. It's easier to find excuses, but who wants easier? If it can be maybe a little bit harder and a little bit more challenging because, I mean, birth is messy and challenging, right? But it's so worth it at the end. It's just like to be on another side of it, like looking back, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy I did it. So number one, we need a wake-up call. So step one is awareness. And then there is another piece. It's not enough. It's good to have like breakthrough. Okay, I'm aware now my life sucks, right? But what are you going to do about it? And first, yes, you need to be aware. You need to get sober about like your reality, what's really happening, without pretending, without denying, neglecting, ignoring, getting yourself busy with stuff, right? It's so distracting. It's so helpful for us to get busy at work, at some projects, everywhere. It's escape. It's escape from reality. Anything in extreme, workaholism, shopping, binging Netflix, binging food, working out too much, everything, whatever too much is is just like a red flag. How long, girl?
It's self-medicating, isn't it? It's like self-medicating,
Yes.
or what some call buffering. It's a way to avoid feeling or to facing things that we it could be positive things we want to face. Maybe we're avoiding something that actually is good in the outcome, but we're afraid to take on something new, so we avoid it by self-medicating in various ways, right?
That's true, yeah. So again, just pause and pay attention and just be present. What's really going on? So number one is
Awareness.
And next is doing your inner work and healing. Because if you don't learn this lesson, it's going to show up with a different face in different place. And I'll tell you my example, right? So here I am, I'm divorced. I have my own place. I am like waking up next day. I'm single, I'm divorced. I can do like, I got what I wanted. It's freedom. And then I feel like, oh my God, I'm still miserable. I'm still walking around like an angry mole. And he's not around. I have no reasons now to blame him. He's not even here in my place. So no excuses to put it on him, right? So I was like, okay, must be me. It's me. It's my inner work to make myself happy and do something about it. So that was, again, awareness, but I don't do anything, right? So then I start dating. So I would put lipstick and heels and then show up in the date, and there is nothing. So I had a bunch of first dates because it didn't go anywhere after. Was no polarity because I showed up in my masculine. And guess what? I blamed him again, my ex. Because of him, I didn't feel like a woman anymore, because of the divorce and fighting and argument, because we are in our masculine, right? When we are in fight and flight mode, which is by default, we go in the masculine energy. So I was bringing this masculine to the date, and then wondered why there is no good outcome there. And again, I was blaming my ex. I know it's silly. Like, looking back, I was just so in this loop of, like blaming him, self-pity, and blaming him again. So at some point, I had to realize there is all this first dates guide, and it's just me. It's constant.
The common denominator is ourselves often, isn't it? It's like,
right.
Oh, why is this not ever working? Why? Yeah. I've had
that's
that.
me,
I've
right?
here myself,
And
yes.
That's why we need other people, their reflection on what's healing needs to be done in me, which was perfect. Again, it was a beautiful experience for me. I mean, it sucked to be like not enjoying the dating scene, but it was very helpful for me to realize, oh, this is what's happening. And
So
it will keep happening.
You're saying
if
that
I don't do anything. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. You're saying that we need other people. This is really, really interesting. We need other people to reflect on what we need to work on. A lot of times there are different schools of thought on that, right? When we're getting out and dating again, they'll say, oh, work on yourself first, and then you're ready to date. Like, do all this inner work, and then you go in and you start looking for a relationship. Don't do it while you're still working on yourself. And then I've heard that school of thought, and then I've heard the other school of thought, which is what you're saying, and I agree with you, is that we oftentimes need to be in relationship, or to it's like because we show up in a different way. And these are, some of my exes are my best teachers, because and it's been a great experience but at the same time, and it's not like, oh, well, you're going out to date because, well, you're just out there because, you're going to be using people because you're not ready. It's like, no, we always go out with the best intention, that we expect that when we get out and we start dating someone, that we want it to work out, but that we don't. If we wait forever and say, okay, I'm going to wait till I'm perfect and I'm all, fixed up, then, we're never going to be all fixed up. Let's just say that we're always going to find something in someone else or in ourselves because we show up differently. We show up differently in different relationships. And I think that's so important, right? Is that we're mirror and reflection. So it's really, as we elevate ourselves and really align with our highest being, or get into the higher being, we're really able to attract that which we really are destined to have, and not just through that forced, a masculine energy, as you talked about, and you're in your career, all that, when you had the career like I've had, is, in the man's world, is that we learn how to be more masculine. And so you've transformed into the feminine energy. And so this is a process that you've gone through at this point, where you are in the story.
Yes. Different partners bring different things we need to look within, right? And also, like, that's why I looked at the lessons as a gift. I can look back and say, thank you for manipulating me, because you showed me the parts that I can still be manipulatable. Thank you. You saved me years of therapy. Like, I would be meditating and looking for it, and you just like laser focus here, heal this. Beautiful. It's a gift.
Yeah, that is a gift, and I think that's so important, is that when we see that as a gift, we oftentimes, like you said, as we've in the early stages of our growth, a lot of us, Michael Beckwith talks about the 4 stages of transformation or spiritual growth. The first one is to me. which is things are happening to me, that I'm a victim, it's everyone else's fault. And then the next one is by me. When we start to do personal development and we go into by me and we're saying, okay, I'm able to create and I'm able to choose and change my direction of my life and how I feel. And so but that's still cognitive. And the next one is through me, which is actually being a vessel and more elevated and more enlightened, where you're able to be a vessel and pass through, where it's not really you doing it. It's God, it's divine, it's happening through you. And the fourth one is as me, which is we're one and there's no separation. And I think that's so beautiful. So the stage where you are, as you're saying, when we go to that place, is we want to make sure that at some point when we have an ending, that we're not harboring bitterness and resentment, right? So, because I really want to talk about the importance of forgiveness, and I love what you say is it's not about how much forgiveness they deserve. It's about how much freedom you want to have. That really hit me hard. It's not about how much forgiveness they deserve. It's about how much freedom you want to have. And then you said to me before too, is some people live 90 years, others live 1 year, 90 times. Forgiveness starts with you. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes. So it's always like, I look at it like drops a messenger, receives a message. Another person is just a mirror to show you what needs to be healed. And when after all this dating disaster, I decided I need to do something how can I reconnect to my feminine? And I went to Bali. And I remember I was at the ecstatic dance class and I felt so stiff, so uncomfortable dancing, couldn't connect to my body. I was like, again, in my masculine, right? And I was looking at the woman next to me. She was so into the dance, closed your eyes and enjoying the movement, enjoying being the feminine. And I looked at you and I said, I want to be like her. I want to be free like her. And that was the beginning of my healing journey.
Mm.
And I realized that this loop that I was looping in, the blaming him and self-pity, it has to stop. And that, yes, he screwed up and I screwed up, right? It takes two people to tango. And taking this personal responsibility was the first step to the healing process. And then I also remembered about the forgiveness. Somebody told me, like, forgiveness starts with you. So I started this morning ritual. Every day in the shower, I would just say, I forgive myself, but like with water running over me. And it just became my daily ritual. I did it every day, every week, every month, until I felt lighter. Because I blamed myself for staying too long. And like forgiveness of ourselves, like forgiving ourselves, right? It is the hardest thing to do. I think it's much easier just to forgive other people at some point. But especially women, we take responsibility for everybody's shit.
We do.
I thought I was blaming him, and like outside, it looked externally like I'm talking about him and blaming. But what was really happening in the root, I was blaming myself. I was blaming myself, criticizing myself. So for not doing enough in the relationship, for not showing up, for not leaving, not doing something before, right? Like it came to the root of, and everybody has different truths. My truth was at that moment that I had to forgive myself and just accept. That is a path to peace. Acceptance of the past. Why to drill about it, like on it? It doesn't make sense anymore. It's time to move on. And the only way to move on was forgive myself and let it go. And the next step was gratitude. My next morning ritual became saying in the shower, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. And then I felt I came from this negative and toxic state of mind to the neutral. And then from neutral, you can go to the high vibration. There is no bypass in it. You cannot be from being in negative and being marinated in all this blame and self-hate and self-blame, and then jump like, oh, love and light. There is a process. There are steps to get there. But first it starts with forgiving, and then gratitude, and then self-love, which is now is the foundation of my signature programs. Self-love.
Self-love.
I think,
yeah. I want to talk about you've got coming up. I love what you said about your, this is so good. Everyone, if I want to tell you, you need to definitely write this down and go back and rewind. It's really good that the gratitude practice and the shower practice with forgiveness, because I think this is something that it took me years to figure this out, is that I didn't even know that there was something I needed to forgive for myself. Like I didn't even see that. I had no awareness of that. And now, and I'm so aware of this as I'm growing, is that when I'm judging someone else or I'm upset with someone else, it's really something that I'm upset with in myself. And it's like you said, it's a mirror. And so it has this effect on us, is that whenever I see something that's not right, I go, oh, okay. Yeah, that I'm upset with that person because this didn't happen or whatever. And I'm going, why is that bothering me? What is it in me that I am not okay with myself that I need to forgive in order to not even see that? That's not even on my radar. And again, to bring up Michael Beckwith, I love this thing he says, is we get to a point, Michael Beckwith at Gape International Center, he says, we get to a point where we become unbotherable. And so as we shift and we start to forgive ourselves and have self-love, less bothers us. There's less that really impacts us, because there's no mirror. There's nothing inside that it would actually trigger, or that we would see it at the reflection.
Yes, great.
Yeah, it's so cool. So with forgiveness and gratitude and personal responsibility is such a big one, because I think as you've given these great steps here, is that we really need that awareness. We need that clarity. We need to get real with ourselves. And then it's that that inner work that you do so well with clients and with your community, your groups, is helping people walk through that process. So they don't, because you've been there and you've seen this in so many women, and you're able to really heal them and help them on their journey, so they don't have to do it alone. So tell us a little bit about what you've got coming up. I know you have an amazing retreat in Tulum, and you do these regularly, the Self-Love Phenomenal Balance Retreat. That's in April 15th through the 19th. What's that? Tell us what you do. What kind of things happen?
Well, I do have online program. It's 4 months.
Oh yeah, tell us about that.
And you can do it all over the world. And retreat is mostly for, it's like emergence. You're in the container. It's a digital detox. You're not distracted by your daily tasks and kids and work and phone calls. You are there and you're present. So if you want an accelerated experience, all just beautiful awakening, reconnecting to your feminine, we look at the shadow work, the inner child trauma. It's very transformative experience. And it's in this beautiful luxury villa in the middle of the jungle with the private cenote, which is underground lake. It's just like beautiful, transparent water that you can merge with nature, and really just like learning how to slow down. It's especially a perfect retreat for burnout executives and business women who have too much to handle in family and career. So this is a place to slow down and also a place to look deep into inner work in a beautiful environment. Yes.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Total immersion for 4 days with no tech and no connection with outside world, and in Tulum is beautiful. So I love that.
Yes.
Mexico.
And if you cannot make to the retreat, there is always an option to join us online. I have a mastermind. It's 4 months container, energy containers that I hold space for women. We have 2 monthly healing sessions. They are live. If you miss the sessions, there are recordings. So we're going through the limited beliefs, because I'm energy healer, yes, but I'm also a mindset coach. I'm a transformation coach. I have behavior change specialist, on hypnotherapist, on top of my 2 masters in business degrees. So I've been there. I've been through divorce, through the heartbreaks, through corporate, through switching from from corporate to spiritual journey. I've done it all. So I can relate to many women. And we go deep. Everybody's joining on their level. You don't have to be like spiritual or very advanced to join. Because as long as you believe that, you don't have even to believe in energy. As long as you believe there is something bigger than you, that's good enough. You join my program, it's like going to the yoga studio and you're a beginner, and there is somebody next to you on the mat who like doing yoga for 20 years, right? And they do this crazy Scorpio yoga pose. And, it's not going to change your experience. It's going to be a very interesting class. Everybody's on different level, but you will get what you are ready to receive right now.
Okay. And that starts May 1st, right? It starts May 1st?
Yes.
Okay. We'll put all that in the show notes in the bottom here, so everybody can check that out, in your links to get to your website to find out more information. So, I think it's so cool, because you said it's for beginners and people that are advanced, like you use the 20 years in their yoga practice. So really anyone can participate in your programs. And I think that's really awesome. And so, I'm thinking of our viewers that are women are thinking right now is like, well, that sounds great, but like, I have a lot going on, I'm busy. And so, how important is this? Like, what will this really shift the needle for me? Like, what is it that, why can't they not, what will, you know what I mean? Like, why can't they not go to this? It's like, what is going to happen? How do they feel? Because I think they're, like your background in corporate, my background in corporate, what do they stand to gain? If they just take a leap and do this. And do this work.
Oh my God. It's transformational experience based on like testimonials, women. It's 4 months container, but then you can stay in the phenomenal circle like month by month. And so far everybody stayed. They could leave, but we have this beautiful sisterhood, a support group. But it's not just that, a few years ago, I was on my spiritual journey. I was just starting. I had spiritual teacher, but also I was like binging all the spiritual podcasts and classes and workshops. But I was also missing the circle of women, because I couldn't talk about certain things on the, like, I couldn't stand small talks anymore at networking events. I wanted to have deep conversations with women just like me. So, and I was not like a Reiki teacher or yoga teacher, because there is some circles like that. I'm like, no, I'm Nataliya. I'm a tech entrepreneur. I'm a businesswoman, and I don't have place. Nothing fit. So I created this circle for women who are brilliant and very successful and intelligent. And yet they want to develop this intuition. They want to connect to feminine. They want to maybe start connecting to the spirit guides, or just heal. Again, everybody's on different levels when they join the program. And I am not just, I don't want you to think about it's only just here, it's only mental. It's not just mindset. Yes, we go through the limited beliefs. We go in through the games we play. All of us playing games at some point in our lives, putting masks on, playing some identities, pretending, fitting in the box, playing small, people pleasing, all kinds of patterns. We go through this. It's important part of the program, but also it's not just mindset. And I'll tell you why. That I have the best lesson I learned in Asia was that they appreciate invisible more than visible. The energy, whatever you have right now, the reality you have right now, it's a product of decisions you made last year. And that happened because of the decisions the previous year, right? And it's usually 5% we made decisions of our conscious, and 95% we live our lives by default from 95% of our subconscious. So what I do, I clear subconscious and blasting your chakra. By the way, chakra. What is chakra? It's a wheel, right? It's a life force spinning. So if I can give you an example, right? My client, we worked a lot on her limited beliefs and her mindset, and she was still stuck. She was trapped into this belief that I have to be responsible. I have to carry this burden, and it's normal for me to carry this burden all my life. Like, I have no choice here. And when you make this decision, I have no choice, conscious decision based on subconscious belief, your throat chakra closing up, your neck is tight, it's affecting your thyroid. So you cannot create and manifest, right? Our throat chakra, that's how we speak the truth, right? How we manifest stuff, new realities. So when it's blocked, you cannot do anything. It's subconsciously your limited belief was running your life. So what I do, I flush that chakra with the energy so the wheel starts spinning again, and the life force is feeding basically like your whole life, because every chakra has a gland, and every chakra has muscles associated with it and a domain in your life associated with it. So when you clear any like certain chakra, the area of your life related to the chakra is also cleared.
Wow.
So that's why why my work is different, right? We work on the mindset and limited beliefs and looking through your the shadow, which is the parts that we deny, we don't like about ourselves. And we looked at the drama triangle, like where you play victim, where you prosecutor, and villain. That's another great topic to explore. It's all great. It's all great, but on its own, it's it's not sustainable. It's like being on diet and have this willpower and have affirmation every day. Like at some point you have a stress and you're gonna binge again. It's not sustainable. So mindset with energy, that is a holistic like mindset, body and spirit. This is my approach in my private coaching one-on-one, in my groups, and in my retreats.
I love that. This mindset and energy combination, because really what that is it's a lot of times we say, okay, we're just going to like force our way to do it. It's all that, sheer will, and like the affirmations, the incantations, I'm great, I'm great, I'm great. But the subconscious is going like, that's bullshit. And, and then and so there's this resistance because there's 95% the subconscious is going like, nope. And there's things that are unhealed. There's unforgiveness. There's all these different things going on. And so I don't know about you, but I'm a reformed, beating myself up kind of person. So it's like, that beating up when I don't show up for myself and don't honor my intuition, don't honor myself of what it is where I know I'm sensing I'm supposed to be, or who I'm being, not what I'm doing. Really I will notice that and I will see that. So it's that really that need to have both. And I love the fact that you're seeing that you're so unique and that you kind of have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's one on each side. It's not just all spirituality, energy work, and it's not just all mindset. It's the combination, which really is key. I think I love that.
Yeah, that's why I have a lot of my clients are executive and successful business people, because I know how to integrate business and spirituality, because money is energy, abundance is energy. So this access to this beautiful energy is a life force, right? And how to bring it down. It's great to have astral journeys and meditate, and it's beautiful. But how you can do it here daily? What are the practical tools that you can do every day? And that's what I'm teaching.
Okay.
In my programs, yeah.
And what are some practical tools that people can use? Because I think right now I'm thinking to myself, as you're talking about career women and women that are in corporate, that are a lot of your clients, is I'm sensing that there are a lot of women watching that are in a career or wanting to start a career, and they're saying, they're feeling a resistance, or they've tried a lot of things and it hasn't panned out. So your work can actually, are you saying that this kind of work will actually help them get clarity and have a complete flow energetically to be able to carry out and actually walk their divine purpose and who they're supposed to be and who they're called to be, and feel completely in alignment, right?
Yes, I'm telling you, like, as the former burnout tech entrepreneur, I've seen many women who are, it's going to trigger someone, these words. We are prostituting. Oh, look at that. What is it called?
Okay. You're prostituting, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to start again. I'm going to tell you, like, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to tell you, as a former burnout tech entrepreneur, I've seen so many women struggling or feeling so dead and not inspired and just settling for some career choices, which is extremely sad to me to witness. That's why they found me, to find that spark, to find that woman that used to be excited about things, excited to start projects and follow up with them and make them true. Instead of what we do, we follow the boyfriend's dreams, or we take projects that we don't like, which is basically prostituting our energy and time for to contribute to somebody else's success, right? We always staying in places that we are not fully appreciated, and we know that, and we still stay, which is self-betrayal. It's self-abandonment right there. Mm-hmm. Or we are, like being this overachiever, like running, doing stuff, forcing one more month, and then I'm going to quit. And forcing ourselves, right? Like, it's like, again, it's a prostitution of your creativity, that at some point we just block it. And then we feel just everything is like black and white. There is no colors in your life because your creativity fountain is blocked. It's there, but it's blocked. And I like this quote I heard in some podcast, like, burnout is not from working too much. Burnout comes from not doing enough of what your soul wants you to do.
Ooh, I love that.
And yeah, that was, to me, the game changer. So I would say just realizing that you have this creativity and it just blocked. It's the first step. And then reconnecting to your powers, and just again, it's inner work. We have all different reasons why we're doing what we do. Like people pleasing pattern could be, it's most of the time it's from the childhood trauma. Overachiever, right? Like I had, like my daddy's issue was like I healed, I worked so much to work on, because I found out my burnout came from the overachiever complex. Like, hey, look how successful I am. Look how much money I make. Can you let me now? Can you see me now? So we are putting external validation instead of looking within and find this love and respect and admiration within first.
Okay.
So all
so
this
we need
burnout.
The external validation really doesn't actually ever satisfy, right?
No. And burnout, it's usually there's a root of burnout is unworthiness. It's not feeling it's feeling not enough. And the problem is, like, it doesn't matter how much you do, you're not gonna feel like you are enough ever, if that's your motivation, because it's fear-based. It's based on the lack.
I love this so much. The burnout, that burnout thing you just said was so beautiful. It's not about that we're doing too much. It's about that we're not doing enough of what our souls called us to do. Is that how you said it?
Yes.
It's
Because
so
if you
beautiful.
think about it, if you'd had some projects that you really like, you don't look at the clock. Time flies. You actually get energized, right? You're so happy and excited about it. And things are happening in synchronicities. It's not hard work. So when you're working hard and you're forcing yourself and you hustling, that is a red flag right there. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. It's not what you came here to do on this planet.
Okay. So what about the things that, like, we have this? Okay. So I love that, because I know Esther Abraham Hicks always talks about lean into, satisfaction and pleasure. And then, so we're like, okay, so, when you have resistance, you step away from it. But at some point, we all have to do certain things we don't like to do. How do you manage that and you still stay in your highest state?
It depends what are the things that you do that you don't want to do. If it's just like pick up after your dog, it's one thing, like there are certain things that part of our lives. And like, either, like my girlfriend said, either do it and stop complaining, or be resourceful, get the dog sitter or find somebody else to do it, right? It's just like, we always have a choice.
We always have a
choice.
Do it. Yeah. Go ahead.
No.
I was thinking we always have a choice. And you said this, it's like, for me, as a personal example, is I love interviewing. I love speaking. I love being around people. When it comes to, like, okay, building a website or building a community, I'm good at that. But I love tech. I'm kind of a tech geek, but it's a talk about burnout. It's like, it's just too much. And so I've actually been working on this thing about manifesting. And so I've created, like, I have this to-do list. It's a mile long of things that I want to try or want to do. And it just sits there. And I've noticed that as I've been working on a manifestation, that all of a sudden things that really need to get done, like somebody does it, or all of a sudden someone comes up and says, hey, you know what? I have a friend who's they're looking for an internship and to do websites. This hasn't happened, but I'm manifesting it right now. If anyone's listening, it's like, so it's like that, right? It's like, okay. And then all of a sudden it just shows up and it's like, wow, that's pretty cool. So, instead of, like, I'm usually very organized and proactive in the past. I'm like, okay, check the boxes, getting everything done and feeling good about accomplishing tasks. Is that sometimes when I have so much to do now that I just let it sit there, and all of a sudden the things just sort of get done without me having to do them, or they just become irrelevant.
That's the point. That when you align, when you in your truth, the universe arranges things around you so you stay focused and you're aligned. the things got tough when we are off the alignment, out of the things. Jesus, the thing gets tough when we out of alignment, and then the universe is kind of like whispers first, tells you like, hey, get back to alignment. You don't listen. And then you get a slap in the face, right? Or like we always have, or sometimes we do need this magic kick in the butt, right? Like, hey, look, what are you doing? Get back into alignment. And God's usually whispers. But if you had to be yelled at, he's gonna yell, or she. It's like whatever works. Some people need that. And again, with the manifestation, we can create all kinds of manifestation boards and do things, this manifesting thoughts. But if the story you're telling about yourself is not matching that board, it's not going to happen.
Okay.
If you think you're not worthy to have that, this is subconsciously, of course. It's not like the conscious walking around, like you can think like, oh yeah, I deserve it. But subconsciously you feel you don't deserve it. It's not going to happen. That's another reason to go in fix it, harmonize it on the energy level. That way your manifesting process, it's easier, because the more stronger you are, the easier to work with the law of attraction. And I mean, stronger is that you don't have our chakras and energy field is kind of like a river, and trauma and blocks, they're like rocks on that river. So the more we remove these rocks, the easier the flow, and you get stronger because the life force is not interrupted. And that way, it's so much easier to work with the law of attraction.
I love that. That's so true. I love that. That just makes so much sense. I want to, before we wrap up, I want to go back a little bit into this conversation about speaking your truth. We brushed over that, and I think it's worth really going a little bit deeper on that, because I think we've talked about people pleasing or accepting or just settling for. And what does it mean to speak your truth? And by not doing that, how has that impacted your life in the past? And how do you help other women that they can, why do they need to actually speak their truth? What's the benefit? Like in their, like you did, you got up and you said, you know what, I'm done with this marriage. I'm out. And that terrifies most women. And so what do they stand? I'm not saying women should leave their husbands, but I'm saying if there's something going on that you haven't spoken up about how you feel about things in your life to someone that's really eating away at you, it's betraying your soul. And so it's really we really die inside from that. So tell me about what does that mean to speak your truth?
So many times people don't tell the truth in the conversations with their partner. Because of the risk of losing this relationship, because they're afraid they're going to lose love. And then if you think about it, that relationship already has a shaky foundation. If you cannot speak your truth, if you cannot be vulnerable, not complaining and dumping on the partner, right? I'm talking about the authentic speaking up for your needs, communicating your needs in a clean way, without pointing fingers, like, this is how I feel, this is my truth. And it's not your responsibility for another person to, whatever it is, if they're triggered, it's not your responsibilities. It's up to them now to sit with it, to work on it, heal it, or do nothing. You cannot manage other people's emotions, but you are responsible for your truth, for living in an authentic way, because authenticity, embodied authenticity, is the highest vibration. So if you are lying, pretending, avoiding the conflict by not speaking your truth, right? By you playing small, like some women, they are overachiever at work, but they are underachiever at home. And this is inner child archetypes that I'm teaching in my signature program. So underachiever woman at home is basically letting your man shine. She's playing small. She fits in certain criteria, you know, like make him happy, kids happy, putting everybody first, not speaking your truth, like being overachiever at work and being underachiever at home. And this is inner child archetypes that I'm teaching in my signature program. So when woman is, again, she's not in her own truth, overachiever, it is distorted feminine, right? You're looking for external validation somewhere else, to somebody to confirm your worth, right? Like, I'm enough now. And when she comes home, she's underachiever. She kind of slides into this different archetype when she lets her man to shine at home or at the parties, right? Like, it's all about him or about the kids, or like she put in everybody's first, betraying her needs, being exhausted and tired, right? And going with everybody's schedule and neglecting her self-care, which is very important part of self-love. And I'm not talking about self-love like vanity. Self-love is sanity, actually.
I think the thing that's really speaking your truth, and the whole part here is the question I would have is that a lot of times I've observed family members, friends that I know, is that when we really hold back what we really think or say, and we just accept what others create for us, and we lose ourselves, almost lose our identity, and don't know who we are, because we're really just sort of allowing other people to sort of follow to show who we are, or to be it. We have no preferences. Our preferences are someone else's. Everything we do is about other people. And when that happens, is I've noticed that over time, we actually can get physical ailments from that, because the body really stores that pain. That you said the thing earlier, which I thought was so profound, about the throat and the thyroid. And when we aren't speaking our truth, that's the energy center, the chakra that controls that. So when we're not doing that, we actually can have problems with probably thyroid, or with things like that. So is that something that you've observed as well? Is that there's health challenges for people who are not actually fully expressive?
Definitely. Our bodies are brilliant. They're so intelligent. And we store any emotion. What is emotion? Is emotion, energy in motion, right? If it's not expressed, it has to go somewhere. So it's stored in the body. And usually certain emotions are related, associated with specific organ, right? Like anger is liver, or our lungs, they hold grief. So yes, I've seen a lot of cases when a person would come with physical issue, and then we work like together, holistic approach, right? We work with body and with spirit, and then you have sustainable change. Because I'm sure you know some people who would have a surgery, and then they have a same surgery 2 years again. You know, like this thing is coming back.
Keeps coming
because
back.
the root was not healed of the problem, and it's usually emotion. Every disease, I would say, starts with the emotion.
Wow. And I've seen people actually. I've done Dr. Joe Dispenza events as well, and when we do clear up this and start to work on energy in a line, that we actually can heal ourselves physically. I've seen it happen, and it's brilliant. It's beautiful.
What you have externally is what you believe internally. It starts with the energy and then it manifests in the physical reality. It's kind of like catching up.
Wow.
The physical.
Wow. Well, I think this has been such an interesting conversation. I think so many women are going to be so enlightened by this and feel like there's hope, there's a new way, there's something else. And the traditional methods don't always work. And thank you so much for being here today and offering us some other alternatives and ways to look at how we can really live our best lives and open ourselves up to what's really possible and not just settle for what we have and to really explore. So I want to thank you for being here today. It's been so wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you everyone for being here. I want to ask you again to subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notified when we have new interviews that come out every Wednesday morning. We're going to be getting a lot more amazing guests coming up soon. Just like Nataliya, we have some health experts coming to talk about menopause and hormone replacement therapy. So you'll definitely want to stay tuned. So please like, share, and subscribe. We look forward to seeing you again and definitely stay connected. Take care.